Introducing myself, my name is Modupe, and I've worked in different sectors over the years. You can see from research to building information management. And the timeline is shown to you from the journey for my career. The impact I've had it through the sectors are also here, value added through trusted advisor, process improvements, user experience and user interface, and obviously for business return on investment. Presently, I'm open to new opportunities, and I'm also doing freelance as a consultancy services. Going into the topic today, which is automation and Workstyle. The scope of this presentation is we're going to walk through from the automation to the question and answer section, as Ben has said, which will be at the end of my presentation. So let's dive into it. We're going to talk about automation. I know it used to be a buzzword some couple of years before, but now it's now become a little bit of household information and words among everybody now, especially during the COVID. Lots of things has to go digital by no choice, but we just have to adapt. Automation. What exactly is automation? According to Cambridge Dictionary, says it's the use of machine and computers that can operate without needing human control. Obviously, it's also about when operation and processes are used through automation of, system or coding program, and which can be in business processes or robotic processes or artificial intelligence application. Let's look further about the impacts that automation has actually had on many businesses and sectors. You can actually vouch with me that it has been very, very impactful in the use of virtual platform. Even that is how we're, communicating at the present. It has been immensely and really valuable in times and during COVID time for a lot of businesses and a lot of individuals across global and regions. Likewise, to mention among most of the things you're seeing, the impact is also felt in the healthcare processes where you have robotic and keyhole surgeries that's been performed to save lives and do a lot of medical improvements on different individuals. We can talk about digital documentation or decentralized processes or logistics that's been improved through automation, through ordering, and a lot of moving and shipping orders. We'll also look at the automation outcomes. There are various outcomes, but I'm going to highlight some few of them, which are almost day-to-day that we always encounter and experience. And these are digital marketing all the way to mobile app. Without automation, a lot of things will not be accessible to us now that we can stroke on our phones to do banking, to a lot of, information sharing, and a lot of businesses are also benefiting from it, even to do the accounting processes and able to communicate with customers and also to improve their business operations as well. Then the next thing we're going to look at is the consequence of automation. For every impact and outcome of automation, we also have consequences. Yes, some are beneficial, but some are also not so, having not necessarily value at the moment, but it seems as if, oh, no, why do we have this innovation happening to humankind? And these are the things that I would like to highlight in this presentation. Loss of job or income, all the way to requirement for technical and coding skills, which is not easily, found. not a lot of people have the brain for it or have the training for it at the workplace, which obviously is leading to loss of job and income. You can also acknowledge that out of this innovation and technology, it's sometimes we have all these pop-ups and pop that on the advertisement that is so annoying. To me, I call it stalking adverts. That's just stalking you. You Google for, I'm looking for white shirts. The next moment is you're going to have numerous white shirts. And you'll be like, wait a minute, I'm only looking for a white shirt. How come? But it's all about algorithm. And it's also imparting recruitment and talent, getting jobs as well. Yes, these are consequences. But really, is there a way out of turning these consequences to positive things? And that's what we're going to delve into further. We are Agilists. We're a community that believe in Agile values. And these are the manifesto of Agile, the main ones, which kind of frame the Agile mindset. But I'm going to kind of delve more into one of it, which actually we also elaborate on the others, and that is responding to change over following plans. Responding to change over following plans. From my previous presentation and talk, I've talked about the consequence of automation. Yes, people are losing jobs, but now even some companies are struggling to find talent to be able to help them to improve their businesses or even to support the workforce, which is affecting their productivity. So how can we use automation to respond to change instead of following the usual plans that we already know or we already mapped out? And that's one thing I love about being an Agilist. You experiment and you welcome change in the small and small steps to get the value that you want iteratively. And we're going to work on it. How can we do that change? It's through Workstyle. Workstyle. I know that a lot has been going on in the last few months after the COVID about flexible working, about people coming back to work. But what is Workstyle? The Workstyle is about a collection of behaviors that is also, applied to tasks and relationship in workplace. It's an approach that gives flexibility to solve problems, but also it's actually had something to it. It has a personality to it that thrives on working in a specific situation or environment. That is Workstyle. But is a lot of people, or are they being given the choices to have their Workstyle, or they are being detected to in the name called flexible working or part-time working? There's a difference. And I'm going to share a little bit of the movements which I've been part of and I've come across, and it's really good. It's going in a new phase for a lot of people out there, but it's working. And that's one thing I would like to share about Workstyle. Workstyle does not necessarily mean you have the flexibility. It's about you choosing the specific situation or environment that you would like to work without being putting a demand on it. It's about your output and not the environment where you're working. So I'm going to share a clip with you about the Workstyle. And it's about a movement that is happening. Yeah, there's a conference that will happen in October, but there's also a book that is coming out that can give you more understanding about what we call Workstyle evolution. So this is where we stop. We stop on talking about Workstyle, and I was able to introduce you a Workstyle revolution that is going on. And books coming on it, you can read about it, whereby it's inclusive. It's inclusive means it's not restricted to location where you work. It's all about your outputs, and it's all about flexibility. It's not about monitoring you, or you have to be in a particular location to be able to do your work. You can work across any nation or any industries without having to be at the location. I have to say there's a caveat to say, yes, there's some kind of work that will require some people to have to be in that station. And that is relatively open to review on that. But generally, looking at it, we're looking at automation, innovation, and digitalization that have come in, and how we can actually make the best out of it. A lot of industries are struggling to find talent. And it's not because people are not there that they want to work, but the mindset has changed. They need a new work style approach from employee. And that is one of the opportunity and the ways to do that which I've shown to you. So next, so I'm also going to, this is a clip, a video that's very, very, very important to me. And why it's important to me is what I'm going to show you about it. Some of you have already watched the video in the past, which is, if you have, you know the name of the film, but it just resonates a point, and that point I'm going to talk.
What's your name again?
Dorothy Vaughn.
She had foresight into the IBM and realized really quickly that the IBM was going to be it. It was going to be the wave of the future.
It'll run eventually, and when it does, we have to know how to program it. Unless you'd rather be out of a job. No, ma'am.
And then most of those women from both the East Group and the West Group ended up being the programmers.
I will pause on that. That clip shows that was a change. That was a change, and they need to be able to upskill themselves technically. One person stood out to be able to get the group trained for the new revolution that is coming in. Seeing that amount of people that are in that office, do they have to lose their job just because there's an introduction of computers for the operation of the business at that time? No, they don't all have to lose their job. And that's the concept about automation and Workstyle. Automation is good. It's just the approach of how it's being handled by the leaders, by the managers. Are they giving the opportunity, the staff, are they giving the opportunity to be trained to move in line with that? And that is what Dorothy Vaughn has done.
We've been reassigned. Leave your calculators, you won't need them where we're going.
We're putting a human on top of a missile shooting into space, and it's never been done before. I need a mathematician that can look beyond the numbers. Math that doesn't yet exist. Before the Russians plant a flag on the damn moon.
You have someone?
Running what I'm playing.
Catherine's the gal for that.
Catherine, have a go at it?
There's an equation for everything. Math is the universal language.
So that puts your landing zone at 5.0667 degrees north, 77.3333 degrees west.
I like her numbers.
Thank you.
She was the only person John Glenn trusted.
Looking at that, it's another point I want to bring out there. She prepared herself, even though she was a mother, she prepared herself. Does automation has to bring lots of income and job? No. I liked in this video clip to make a visual representation of how things can be changed around. She prepared herself. I understand not everybody can be technically inclined, but for those that could, it's about, relearning and training oneself to be able to fit into the future. Automation is here to stay. It's our future, and it's going to be increasing day in, day out, years after years, right from now. A lot of companies have closed their branches, they're closed up their company, but it's not necessarily because they would not need further staff to operate the business, but the business operation has changed. And that's what the, what's it called? Dorothy Vaughan and Catherine put themselves into. And he talked about numbers. It's all about data now. And people have to prepare for that. It's all about data. The next one
is numbers.
Catherine? He didn't trust the new IBM computers.
And he said the words,
Let's get the girl to check the numbers.
if she says they're good, I'm good to go. Those were direct quotes.
The girl.
Yes, sir.
You mean Catherine?
Yes, sir. Smart one. I mean, she says they're good. I'm ready to go.
Going to be one of the best roles because of the tenacity, the courage, the freedom, the fearlessness of this character, of Mary, and her two, best friends. They were all these smart African-American women who were hidden.
She says something. They were best African-American women that were hidden. I'm not going to be, talking about a particular group now, but I want to major on the word that she said. They were hidden. There's a lot of talent that are hidden, even in our workplace, that can do the job. They can do the job. It's just because they're not given the opportunity. They're not given opportunity to be retrained to get the best out of them on the technical side, which is what the automation is bringing within our workplace. It's affecting all industry, and it's good for us to start making that change now. So, automation and work style is what we're talking about. We talk about the consequences. We look at how things can be changed around, applying agile mindsets to it, responding to change and not to plan. Based on my research, according to Deloitte, it said 58% of organization has implemented automation. And that was according to 2019 statistics. You can even say that even automation will improve, according to Allied Market Research, improve revenue generation. And they said something. Automation is the key. It's the key for the future. The other information I also gathered from Future Forum about Workstyle that we're talking about today is, looking at it, 80% want flexible in where they work. 80%. And this is the figure that I just pulled today, and it was done this year, May. That was the statistics and the figures I got. 94% want flexible in when they work. When and where they work is very important. And this studies and survey was done in US, across many individuals and minority groups, and both whites, everyone, including working parents. Most of the people working, at one point in their life, they're working parents, whether they're just getting married or they're old. And it says that 60% of working mothers really need flexibility. Likewise, 50% of working fathers. And this is the figures that we've already gone that Workstyle has to be flexible about when and where they work. Not you have to be in our office. Not you have to work at a particular time. So looking at what I've already shared with you, some of them you're familiar with, some of them, okay, you heard about it maybe, or maybe you even know a little bit about it. What I'm also advocating, let us review all the processes that we use and see that really we can do without automation, whether on the personal side, in a community, or in businesses, or in our organization. Let's reflect on it using the agile practices. Let's identify the gaps for improvements. Let's have a re-engineering and innovate the Workstyle recruitment for performances. Some are losing their job, but some are also looking for job. Companies are looking for people to do the work. We need to make it balanced, and it's all about flexibility and change using the agile mindset to it. I will give a suggestion to reduce, the wastage from somebody looking for and somebody losing their job, and the process is improving in our businesses or in our organization, or in the production. And I need to be a face. Get the feedback, collaborate, and do continuous workflow with people. With whatever you're doing within your team, whether you're a mentor, whether you're leading, whether you are a manager, or whether you are also, part of the project team, work collaboratively, address people and talent inclusively. Create environments where people can experiment and have psychological safety to learn, to improve themselves, and to be of value back into the system or organization. And embrace the change and advocate for it. Advocate for the work style. Flexibility is very important on where and when they work. It's very important. 80% of people want to choose that. In summary, we've looked at what is automation. And we looked at which are acronym IOC, which is the impact, the outcome, and the consequence of automation. We look at the agile value mindset, which talks about responding to change and not to plan. If we respond to the change by applying the work style approach and work within the talent and resources that we have to be able to do the operations that we have now, obviously, there'll be more collaboration, there'll be more interaction, and obviously, there will be more customer satisfaction. We talked about work style. We talk about scenarios that we see about the Eden. Eden Treasure is the film that I did a clip on. But it's just emphasize how things change technically and in the world that we're living now, and how a lot of people, talent, resources are hidden, even though they are before us within our team, a project, organization, but they are not being made use of. We also talk about the brainstorming for lean management. Can we reduce the waste? Do we have to send people off when we can retrain them? Can we get a very inclusive approach to the team and production and performance of our organization as an agilist? Which are acronym the FACE, which is getting the feedback. Address any gap or any talent or any problems within the organization. Create an environment that is inclusive. Create an environment that is psychological safety for people to retrain, and embrace it and advocate for it. In conclusion, no matter what industry where every one of us are working, whether we are in software, whether we are in supply chain, whether we are in finance or any organization or even not-profit organization, we are producing something. It's a product, it's a service. It could be tangible or intangible. But no matter what it is, my conclusion is, Agile is part of automation, no matter that industry. And automation without flexible work style leads to wastage. I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. And I would like to welcome any question I'll answer today. And to crown it all, I always like this, what Charles Darwin said: it is not the strongest species that survives, not the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. In addition, there are resources which I've added to my slides, which can be of help for you, which we can get more information on the topic I've presented today. Because of time, we can do much, but you can get a lot of resources out there as well. I will really appreciate, if you can lay your hands on Workstyle or how the future workbooks. It will also add more understanding to the topic. So thank you very much.